everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the all-new Lord-Celestant model that Games Workshop have very kindly sent me as part of the new Stormcast multi-part kit release. And well, I'm very excited to paint this one. It's a very cool model, I like it a lot. We've gone with the shield and the hammer here, and today we're going to be painting this guy in the colours of the Astral Templars. Yes, we're starting our fourth Stormhost. Quite slowly here, but nonetheless we're starting it. So, primed in grace here, and the colour we're going to be using first is a roughly 4 parts Sigvald Burgundy to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. And this is just to kind of improve the flow for us. And we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the armour of our Lord-Celestant. But we're also going to be including the facing of the shield. And with that Sigvald Burgundy and Lahmian Medium mix applied, we're then going to take some Volupus Pink, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of that armour. Now we have gone over the top of some of the animal facing parts on the leg and on the arm. That is intentional. We haven't done it over the top of the chest plates because, well, I figured that should be gold. You could do those other bits gold as well, but it might be almost too fancy at that point. So with that Volupus Pink applied, as you can see, we've got this lovely darkened down Astral Templars armour now. So what we can do is move on to the next colour, which is going to be some Black Legion. I'm going to use this over the top of the joints in the armour, the boots, and the leather, such as the belts and straps. So with that Black Legion all applied, as you can see, we did to the internals of the shield as well, and the scabbard down here. What we're going to do now is we're going to work on that pelt, and we're going to take 3 colours to do this: Skeleton Horde, Gore-Grunta Fur, and Cygor Brown. And well, we're going to start by taking some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this all over the top of our lion's head, around here. Like so. And then we're going to keep bringing it round. and down the pelt. That should be enough. In fact, we'll do a little bit over the shoulder as well. There we go. We're then going to wash the brush, grab some Gore-Grunta Fur, and then around here on the front we're going to apply the Gore-Grunta Fur like so, over the top of the hair, like that. Still keep bringing it round. There we go. Wash the brush. Grab a little bit more Gore-Grunta Fur. And apply it along there. Like that. And bring it down. Basically over the top of the remaining parts of the pelt. You want to make sure that you wash the brush each time you go back to it, because you've got some skeleton horde on your brush now. There we go. Then we're going to wash the brush once more and grab some Cygor Brown. And then just towards the bottom of these areas, add a little bit of the Cygor Brown in, like so. Like that. And then we're going to wash the brush once more, grab a little bit of skeleton horde. And we're going to just use this to kind of blend our colours together where we need to. So with that all done to the pelt, what we're going to do then is we're going to take some Dark Angel's Green, and we're going to take 3 parts Dark Angel's Green to 1 part Lahmian Medium, and this is just again to improve the flow. So you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but we're going to apply this over the top of the outside of the cloak, but we're also going to apply it to the cloth of the mailed tabard. So with that all done, both front and back, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Terradon Turquoise and we're going to apply this over the top. And with that Terradon Turquoise all applied, we're now going to take some Seraphim Sepia, and we're going to apply this over the top of the inside of the cloak. With that Seraphim Sepia applied to the inside of the cloak, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the parchment. So there's a little bit of it here, and there's a little bit of it on the shield as well. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Fyreslayer Flesh. I'm going to apply this over the top of the face. And with that then done, we are going to once again use some Black Legion, because there's a couple of different little areas that we need to now clean up. So we've got things like the little claws on the pelt here. Like so. We've got little toe beans as well on the pelt. In there, like that. We've got claws down here, like that. We've also got the eyes and the nose over here. On the pelt, like that sort of thing. And we've also got the hair of our Lord-Celestant. And so with that then done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Akhelian Green. I'm going to apply this over the top of the wraps on the hammer. And on the little dagger. And so with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors, and we're going to apply this over the top of areas such as the scale mail down here on the tabard. We're going to apply this over the top of the hammerhead up here, over the top of these little doodads on the shield for the strap. And we're going to apply it over the top of the little hammers on the cloak as well. And with all that Iron Warriors applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. And we're going to apply this over, well, pretty much all of our remaining details. There is, however, two bits that we're not going to be applying this over. And well, those are going to be the border of this little badge here. So the lightning bit around the outside, and the same thing goes on the shield. So I'm going to apply this over the top of the facing, but not the bit around it. Now don't worry if you do get some gold on it, it's not the end of the world. We are going to be relayering over it, which is why we haven't really done anything in the way of kind of correcting there. It should be fine. So with that all done, we've got all of our base coats on our Lord-Celestant, so now it's time to add some shades, and the first of these is going to be some Seraphim Sepia once again. Only this time what we're going to do is we're going to use this over the top of the lion just to tie all of those colours together. And with that Seraphim Sepia all applied, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over top of the silver, the Akhelian Green, and the black of the shield. And with all that Nuln Oil applied, we're then going to shade all of the gold. And we're going to be using some Guilliman Flesh for this. So with that all done, our Lord-Celestant is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and he's looking pretty good. However, we're not going to leave him there, no. We're going to take him to the next level, and we're going to do this by adding some highlights. Now, the first of these highlights is going to be some thinned down pink horror. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the armour. So with all that pink horror applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Cadian Fleshtone. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the sharpest points in all that armour. With that Cadian Fleshtone all applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Kabalite Green. I'm going to use this to highlight the cloak and the tabard. And with that Kabalite Green all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Sybarite Green. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the tabard and the cloak. So with that all done across all the green, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the black details. Actually, we'll just start up here on the hair. With that Dawnstone all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight the Lord-Celestant's face. And with that Flayed One Flesh applied, we then want to take a small amount of Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of the eyeballs. So with that Black Legion applied, we're then going to take a tiny little dot of Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this in the corner of each of the eyeballs. Just like that sort of thing. However, what we're also going to do with the Screaming Skull is we're going to use this to highlight the parchment and the lion's face. And similarly, I'm going to use this to add dots in the eyes of the lion. Like that. So with all that Screaming Skull now applied, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to do three things. Now one of them is to effectively relayer and correct the lightning here on the shield, like that sort of thing. The other thing is to do the same job but on this little border here on the brooch. Like that. And we're going to use the Corax White to add some little highlights to the sharp edges on the inside of the cloak to give it the impression of being this kind of dirty off-white. So with that all done, it's now time to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. Now, one of the simplest things to do here when it comes to things like the scale mail is we're just going to relayer each one of the scales rather than highlight them. But for the rest of the silver, you're going to highlight it. So with all that Ironbreaker applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. I'm going to use this to relayer just a couple of different gold details. So we've got the trim of the shield and the lion on his chest. We just want to avoid the recess to give us this really lovely shiny warm gold. And with that Retributor Armour reapplied to those gold details, what we're now going to do is we're going to highlight all of the gold using a roughly 2 parts Stormhost Silver to 1 part Retributor Armour mix. I'm just going to use this now to pick out all of the edges on all of the gold. And so with that all done, we're now going to finish him off by taking some Akhelian Green. I'm going to apply this over top of all of the little gems. And there we have it, the 4th Stormhost of Warhipster is born with the Lord-Celestant, a fitting place to start. I really like painting the Astral Templars. I think it's an absolutely stunning scheme. It looks amazing and it's very, 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 very quick to do. Like, just quicker than a lot of the other Stormhosts, which is really fun. And yeah, I've got a lot of models I need to buy, build and paint for this army. Oh boy. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.